Good afternoon, everybody, again. It's Iain Messer. I'm back. I haven't been anywhere, really. And we're doing Mess Around for the next 2 hours, 2 till 4 on 3WBC. And that was Ray Charles doing the Mess Around. I think you all recognise that. My first guest for today is Brian McAleer. How are you, Brian?
Very well, thanks, Iain. Thanks for having me.
Hang on, you told me you had a cold. You're not very well, really. We both got a cold, folks, but you can't catch it over the airwaves, so don't worry about it. Now, Brian is a life coach, and he's also he's an author, and I have in my hot little hand here a book called Setting Goals Using the S.M.A.R.T Method. It's a great name.
Thank you.
And he's the author of that. So where do you want to start, Brian? You want to tell us about the book first?
Yeah, sure.
What's it about?
Yeah, well, firstly, thanks for having me here today.
Oh, that's all right.
This opportunity to speak to you and your listeners. And essentially this book I've written, which is the first book I've published, which is pretty exciting for me, and it's just recently come out, so very much riding that wave at the moment. It's all about goal setting. So my philosophy in life is that if you want to be successful in any area, you need to be able to set goals. And when I was starting out on my journey as a coach, I was looking at all the different goal-setting strategies that are out there. One of the most common is called the S.M.A.R.T way of setting goals, which is actually an acronym. And the letters stand for different things, usually small, measurable, attainable, realistic, and time-framed.
If it hasn't got all that, it's not a goal.
It's not a goal, yeah. Goals are just a wish unless you actually plan them. So I was using the S.M.A.R.T way of setting goals, but found that it was lacking something. It needed a few extra little elements to go with it. Like I'd be setting my goal and I didn't feel energized or excited about it. No one knew about it. It was all sort of kept to myself, so then I would lose motivation very quickly because there was no one there to sort of push me along.
Hold you to it. Yeah.
That's right, which is really important. And I wasn't taking any action right after I'd written my goal. I'd write it down, have it all nice on a piece of paper and say, I'll get started after the weekend, when I'm feeling better or whatever, or at the end of the week.
Sounds fair to me.
Yeah, which I think a lot of people struggle with that. So I've added a few extra elements to it, which then became the smartest way of setting goals. And then about this time last year, I was writing this blog and developing the smartest method and explaining it, and that got a bit of a following. And then I thought, well, I've got enough here to write a book, and I've been wanting to write a book for a long time. And I made that my goal. I kind of used my own method to set the goal of writing the book, and had it published just a little over a month ago.
And how long did it take you to write the book?
I'd say from the time I just started developing the idea to when it was published, about a year.
It's not bad.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. No, it's not. Some people spend years, especially if they can't get off their arse to get the energy up.
Yeah, well, it did consume my life for the past year. I had to, give up quite a lot. Didn't watch TV for a long time.
Oh, wow. You really gave up a lot there.
I did. Yeah. The important stuff. But
absolutely.
No, it was just about prioritising it. And once I found I was really focused and clear on what I wanted, it just sort of came together really well.
Now, a lot of first-time... Is this your first book?
It is.
A lot of first-time authors have told me that just what you just said, that they're so all-consumed by writing the book that when they finish, there's something missing in their life. They don't know what to do with themselves. Did you find that?
I anticipated that feeling was going to happen because when you're setting any goal, every goal has its outcome, the thing that you're chasing. And then when that comes, you're sort of like, all right, it's happened. Like, now what? You sort of had that sort of empty feeling. It's like, great, I've got the amount of money I want, or I've got this, or I've got that. My other philosophy is that once you've achieved a goal, you should use that and continue building on it. So the book really is not just, I wanted to write a book and tick it off my bucket list. This is something I'm going to use and really drive forward. So the book is really just the start of it all. So the smartest method is going to lead to all these other things like workshops, seminars, audio CDs, training programs, the works, So that was really just the start of it all. So I try not to get too fixated on the outcome because it's only momentary. Like, I always look at the process of working on it. That's where you learn the most and really enjoy yourself, yeah.
So this is the smartest method. So is there a second edition coming out? The next smartest method?
Maybe in a few years. Yeah, it's only been out for a couple of months.
No plan at the moment.
No plan. And definitely, I've got ideas to work on it and follow it up. But at this stage, it's just
Right.
this
Now,
one.
you said something interesting at the outset before, Brian. You said that you had this ambition to become a coach. Normally speaking, if you think in football terms, you have to be a player before you can be a coach. And a lot of people don't understand the concept of life coach.
Yep.
Do you want to explain how that works?
Yeah, definitely. And it's a good point you make there. Life coaching is still a relatively new industry and profession. Sort of started back in the late 80s. And yeah, people do get confused with what is a life coach. And I faced that question when I first heard about it 7 or 8 years ago. It's like, so you're a life coach, you tell me how to live my life, do you? It's like, no, not at all. What life coaching does is it's a mentor or a person of support who is invested in your success and doesn't necessarily have all the knowledge or expertise in every area, because nobody does. So if your goal is you want to improve your fitness, your life coach doesn't have to have a background in fitness, but your life coach will know the right questions to ask you to help you figure out what has been stopping me from achieving this goal.
To get you motivated.
To get you motivated and to get you thinking, because that's what attracts people to life coaching, is like they might feel stuck, or they've been wanting to achieve something for a long time, personally or professionally, and they just don't know how to go about it.
Right.
Or they're dealing with motivation issues, or they're confused about what they want. So a life coach will use various questions and models and exercises just to help you get clear on what you want and build up that momentum.
So you're a bit like a psychologist.
I won't say it's similar to psychology. I mean, it takes aspects of psychology, but more of a mentor and more of a guide. And a life coach, it's important to know a life coach will never tell you to go in this way or that way. They'll help you determine your answers based on what's most important to you. So it's about having that kind of self-awareness of who you are and what you want out of life, and that's where coaching can come in really useful.
When I was your age, I was working in the corporate world, and I found quite often nobody took me seriously because I didn't have grey hair.
Right.
Do you find that they say, hang on, you're not old enough, you can't possibly know enough about life?
Well, I when I first started, I thought I wasn't old enough, and that I think was projecting out, and people were confirming that for me, saying, "Oh, you don't seem old enough to be doing that." But once I kind of got past that, I'm like, yes, I'm still relatively young. I don't know all the answers to life, but
no one does.
No one does, exactly. But life coaching is, it's based on a bunch of methods and skill sets that really anyone can learn. And in taking into account my age and my background, I focus on coaching young people because I'm actually a youth worker.
Okay.
That's how I've sort of started out.
That's your real job.
That's my sort of day job.
Your day job, yeah.
And then I have 3 other jobs. So, yeah, I work as a youth worker. So my focus is what I call youth empowerment coaching. So coaching teenagers, but also coaching parents, teachers and youth workers on how to connect with and motivate their young people as well.
That must be a difficult job.
It can be. It's got its challenges, and I've worked with a lot of young people from all walks of life, mainly young people from a disadvantaged background or with learning needs or special behaviours. So it's about just connecting with a young person and seeing past that. And then once they know that someone else is there, believes in them, they can really start to.
Well, Generation
changes.
Y or Z, whatever they're up to, get a pretty bad reputation.
They do.
You don't find that that's as bad as people pretend.
No, it isn't. And I can talk about a lot of young people I know who do exceptionally well despite their life situations and backgrounds, and some who've come from some pretty rough backgrounds and might not have those positive adults in their life. But they've still got the goals and things that they want to do with their life. And when they see that someone else can come along who says, hey, you can actually do this, I believe in you. You can learn what other people have learned. It doesn't matter what's happened to you, and you can apply yourself. And I've seen young people do amazing things like get up and talk in front of a crowd when a few months before that they couldn't strike up a conversation with one person.
Yeah, I understand. It must give you a huge sense of achievement.
Yeah, it is. And a lot of the time with working with young people, you only see results every now and then or after a long time, but it's definitely worth the time to hang in there and work with young people because it is very rewarding to see them to grow and develop and everything.
So you do that as part of your job as a youth worker?
I do, yeah. So when I started studying life coaching, I decided to actually incorporate it into my work as a youth worker. So life coaching is really, it's a set of tools. It's an approach to managing yourself and managing life. And I found that integrating that into youth work helped me have conversations with young people in a very kind of positive way, and ask them questions that really got them to think, and not just the usual, oh, what are you going to do with your life? Because a young person can't answer that question.
Well, you've answered my question when I was asking you about the grey hair, because if you're working with youths, teenagers, whatever, they don't want to work with someone with grey hair. They want someone basically, young.
Yeah, true.
If you're working with people who are 35 or 55 or 75, it may not be the same easy job. But
No.
do you do that? Do you work with older people as well?
I do, yeah. So as I mentioned, the other side of youth empowerment coaching is I work with parents and I work with teachers and youth professionals. So I've worked in schools and run trainings for teachers on how to engage the disengaged student.
Well,
for
that
example.
could be interesting.
Yeah, it brings up a lot of conversation, and it's difficult for teachers because they have a limited amount of time.
Yeah.
A classroom full of kids, and one kid can be causing a ruckus, and how do you deal with that effectively and make sure that the rest of the class is getting what they need as well?
I know, I'm an idiot for asking, but don't they learn how to do that when they do teacher training?
I don't know. I can't
Good
say.
answer.
Yeah, I can't say. I'm not sure what's
You'd
covered
hope
in
they
teacher
do,
training, but to my knowledge, I don't know if it's done very intensively as you would learn in youth work studies or social work.
Yeah.
So I offer that element to teachers and also professionals who work with young people. I've run workshops for job service agencies that work with unemployed young people on how to motivate them to find work and get excited about finding work. So I do work with adults as well, all around young people.
Do you think people will, this is a sidebar, do you think people are going to get more excited about finding work if they're going to be off the dole for 6 months unless they do? Do you think that's going to work?
This is all the hot story at the moment is I think it's going to put a lot of pressure on some young people and also a lot of pressure on schools and job service agencies.
My opinion is there just aren't that many jobs out there, that even if every kid was 100% motivated, which they're not, but if they were, there still wouldn't be enough jobs. So someone's going to starve.
It depends.